Welcome to another episode of Melbourne 22. I'm your host, Anna Burgess.
And I'm Aaron McCarthy. Now tonight we explore the best way to get your own small business up and running.
We help you get your garden ready for spring.
And we jump into the shoes of yet another Melburnian.
So get ready for more Melbourne 22 coming right up. Hey guys, it's that time again, Melbourne 22. We strive here to bring you to the brink of excitement.
I'm right there with you. And
Your octave, you just went right up an octave.
That was me on the brink of excitement right there. First up on the show tonight, we shift in green mode. We shift into green mode, I should say. Green and a little bit of blue. I'd say this is off green. If you've neither the time or the space to grow your own garden, we've got a bunch of great tips for you coming right up.
That's right, Aaron. We recently visited a local nursery and community garden to see just how amazing your backyard could be.
With high-rise buildings and apartment living increasing, not everybody has room for a little garden in their backyard. Not only is farming your own produce a great way to keep in touch with nature, there are a lot of other benefits as well.
Gardening is quite therapeutic. You enjoy the produce, you like to see it coming on. Like I said, with the social aspect as well, you stand around and have a chat with people at the end of the day, you get in the sun, get some dirt on your hands, grow some things and get something at the end of it. It's fantastic.
Mostly it's about mental health. It's about spending time outside and just spending time with yourselves.
Well, for a start, you don't have chemicals in the ground. In local community gardens like this, you'll have pretty strict rules about what you can and can't use around the soil.
A great thing to share. It's a thing about sharing knowledge and sharing about, and not only sharing knowledge, but sharing produce, and that's really what it's about. It's about food.
You're actually reducing your sort of footprint in your local community.
The gardening pie is shrinking, but we're finding that there's a whole new generation of people that actually want to learn how to grow food, but they haven't been taught that basic information.
Community gardens are easily accessible and a great source of information from experienced gardeners. Even with limited space, it isn't that difficult to get started at home.
Your own veggie patch started, the best place to start is to start small, and I recommend most people just to visit the local nursery and think about what it is that you're going to grow into. Some really simple things are things like radish. You can't go wrong with growing radish. They're the easiest thing to grow.
Green leaf stuff, spinach and your broccolis and your collies and all that sort of stuff, cucumbers. Tomatoes require a little bit of treatment, but they're not that hard. It's not brain surgery.
It just gives you a really good appreciation about where your food has come from and about the whole journey, about how that food gets to your table.
Backyard gardening is fast becoming more popular within the Melbourne community.
Every day we get people coming through, it'll be a group from another community will come through and say, how do we set up our own? What's the process we go through?
But most people I find is not necessarily motivated by environmental factors, or it's a long-term decision. But one thing most people care about is what they're having for dinner.
Getting outside and grounding ourselves with the earth shouldn't have to be a chore. It is such a rewarding experience and is a great beginning for a healthier lifestyle. Come on, Melbourne, get your hands dirty.
Look, I think that was a great package, and I think that with everything being so processed these days, it's a really forward-moving trend, the old...
And I think he may be right that a lot of people really don't care about getting their hands dirty or green, but what's on the table? And what you're putting in your mouth, whether it's green. That's what I mean by that, yeah.
Exactly, and not just in colour, but in the vibe of it.
Absolutely, Aaron.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's about the vibe.
So here in the studio with us today, we've got Karen Sutherland to talk about springtime gardening. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Now, Karen, there's nothing better than a taste of good food. What are some of the ways that we can get a better flavour of food on our table through using a nice green garden and doing it yourself?
Well, I've brought along some samples to show you, just to show you that. These are some dried fruits I've grown and then dried in a dehydrator at home. So growing your own at home and picking it at its freshest and then preserving it for later use in the year, that's a way to get to have your produce as fresh as possible, and to have that will give you the best taste, the freshness, really.
Okay.
But in a small area, you can grow things like rosemary, parsley, oregano. So they're all things that are easily grown in pots for an apartment, as well as things like the silver beet.
Smells and flavours there.
You can grow things with herbal tea. So that's if you crush that, have a crush of that. That's lemon myrtle. It's an Australian native herb. So
Aaron loves his tea.
Beautiful.
That makes a fantastic tea.
I do love my tea.
Oh, that's fresh.
And it's
really
healthy
lovely.
and it's good. Now, this
good
thing,
for you.
what is this thing here? Because you see these fruits out there, and this, to be honest, if anybody ever saw the Ninja Turtles, it kind of looks like Krang. But it's a bit of pop culture. Now, what is it though?
That's a choco, or I like to call it the humble choco, because it often gets derided, but it's pretty common north of the Great Dividing Range. It's not as common in Melbourne, but it grows really well in Melbourne. And it's like a winter zucchini. So
A winter zucchini. So
you use it like a zucchini.
like a stir fry you could do with it.
Yeah, stir fry is really good actually. Yeah.
And is it feels more dense than a
crispy.
zucchini though?
Oh, it
Would
is.
you have to cook it for longer?
Yes and no. It gives a nice crispy feeling to a stir fry. So.
Would you like some pear?
Are there any
thank you.
specific plants or veggies you would advise to people who don't have a lot of time, you know?
Again, you go back to these things like this that you. It's really hard to talk when you're eating.
I know.
Just do it. We're all doing it. All good.
This is things that cut and come again, or continual harvest. So you want veggies like that.
Right, which means, you can cut them off. The
They
roots
just
stay
grow
in
again by
there.
themselves. Yeah.
Yep, and they'll come
Really
back.
easy.
And
Yep.
so, I mean, do you try and vary your garden so that you've got things that will grow through the summer, the spring, the winter? Because some are winter vegetables, aren't they? So you can have a section in your garden so that you're still getting a good crop of your
Absolutely,
veggies all year round. What would you plant at this time of the year when it's so cold like this, when a lot of the other stuff won't grow?
It's really good if you can to plant in autumn and spring, because they're the mildest times of year. So
Right.
in the middle of winter, it does get a bit more difficult to plant, but you can still plant things like celery, kale, silver beet, spinach.
Kale's a
spring
bit of an
onions.
exciting one that's come out. Everybody's on
Everyone's
board the kale
really
train
crazy
at the
about
moment,
kale.
and I'm
I
not
didn't bring
talking
any
about
kale
the
samples
soccer.
in, but yeah.
I'm talking about the vegetable.
Yeah.
What is kale? Where does it come from? And
It's in the cabbage family. Think of it like a loose leaf cabbage. So,
Okay.
I mean, if you get really excited about it, you can juice it. I don't think it's that exciting, so I just cook it in soups and.
Drying it out in chips is fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that
Not
exciting.
big on that? All right.
Sorry to interrupt, but no one has pointed out that gorgeous little wine bottle that's like sitting in your basket
This
there.
is elderflower wine.
Right.
So this is a really, really easy wine to make from flowers in your back garden.
Right.
And if you'd like to taste some.
Oh, look, I think we have some glasses prepared
No,
earlier.
look, Anna just drinks out of the bottle generally. She's pretty.
Scotty.
All right, beautiful. Well, look
Look
what
how
we'll do.
ornate they are.
We'll crack the wine. And we'll say thank you very much for joining us
You're
today
welcome.
on the show. We've got some work to do right
in
here, right
moderation,
now.
of course.
So,
Yeah.
do you want to?
I mean, look, I've got the wine. I'm feeling really motivated, though, strangely enough, with this wine to go and plant some seeds, get green.
All right, we'll go on then. You've got time. We're going to head to a break right now. More Melbourne 22 coming right up.
Coming up on Melbourne 22.
Basically, I thought that I couldn't stand working for a boss.